well over the past 15 minutes.
Okay.
And now Twitch doesn't want to cooperate with me.
We're live on YouTube.
We're live on Twitch. I'm trying to change the subject again.
Weekend gaming. Yeah, it sucks that we're late. I hate being late. But
or rather, I'm trying to change the title on the Twitch stream.
It doesn't show Frag Logic 46?
Does it? I didn't even look.
Just say Frag
Time
Logic.
Warner is not doing well for me right now either. Come on. Yeah, it does.
Okay. I was gonna say I changed the title way beforehand. Like,
does it say we're
way beforehand? Stream health is good on my end.
I think we're live. Fucking Twitch. I
Colin.
can sit there and add to see if we're live or not. This has just not gone well. This has not gone well.
It shows the stream health for me on YouTube is good. So I'm going to go ahead and get started since we are 20 minutes behind today. I think this is the first show we've been this late. I don't think there's been a show. This is episode number 46 of Frag Logic, joined by Colin. And yeah, a bunch of issues today. Time Warner being shitty. It's typical Time Warner. Fuck you. We love you, but fuck you. Not really. We don't love you. Today we got a lot of stuff, and because of some of the issues we were having through Google Hangout, we decided to try Skype, and so my notes are a lot more scattered now because of how I have to do this. So hopefully we're not like all over the place this show, but
I'm pretty all over the place right now.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. So yeah, today we're talking about a number of things. We've got the weekend gaming stuff going on. Steam beta consoles are out in the wild. We got SteamOS. We have, let me see, trying to scroll through this. This is awful. Xbox One versus PS4 sales. Interesting stuff. We have Gsync, Oculus Rift, and we got a couple other things in there. Xbox TV shows, all that stuff. So this should be a pretty long show. I'm going to try to actually kind of speed through it since we're so far behind on a lot of stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with weekend gaming. I was playing this weekend Killer Instinct. Anyone that watched my Thunder gameplay probably saw me get my ass whooped for a little bit, then got okay, and then got my ass whooped some more. So I just moved characters from Jago to Thunder. Played some Space Engineers.
Colin, you actually played it?
Yeah, I bought it. It's $14.99 on Steam, and
it's early access, right?
It's an early access, and it's basically a sandbox. I won't say it's Minecraft because you're more like building spaceships, but it's basically a creation game where you just build stuff in a sandbox world. It's pretty fun. I also got DayZ, which the standalone came available online yesterday. It's $29.99. I played 20 minutes of it. I actually played it on my lunch break at work, and just basically got to run around, got killed by 3 zombies, and then that was my experience so far on DayZ. I've never actually played DayZ the mod, so completely my first time playing DayZ was the standalone, which is what I wanted to buy. I didn't want to get Arma and then get the mod. I also, Colin, I got Just Cause. I bought this in July on the Steam sale. Yeah. The reason I got it is because they were talking about a mod for it. And so the mod is a multiplayer mod. That came out today. So I'm able to play the multiplayer version of Just Cause 2. It's pretty sweet.
It's funny. I saw the video which I've seen of it is like 100 people driving limos in a race. Like just a 100-man limo race is pretty much all that the video was. Just everyone crashing into each other. Like you had to go through these little gates. They can only fit like 3 or 4 limos at a time.
Yeah. It's pretty
big on racing.
Yeah, it seemed like the server I joined had I think you can fit 1,000 people per server. and the server I had 100 people in it, and they had a little chat going on, and people were like, "Hey, come join the race! Join the race over in such and such." So like you can
Yeah.
teleport to different areas, and then I don't know how the normal game plays. I need to play the normal game because it seems like it'd be kind of fun. What's up, Pot Even? But I was unable to find a race because the fucking world is huge. Colin is huge.
Yeah, it's actually you know, James used to work at Edge,
Yeah,
so he would play the game all the time. I just always see him just like flying off jets and like just hitching a ride from planes and stuff with the parachute out, and just it's just massive. Like it was pretty impressive, just the amount of free roam like movement type stuff you could do.
yeah. So I plan on probably streaming it here pretty soon to try to get some stuff coordinated with some like multiplayer guys. I have no idea how to play like really play the game. All I did was jump around because you get like this little well he has like a whip almost, and then you get like this grappling hook, and you can like grapple all over the place. And then whenever you get into a vehicle, all of them go like 1,000 kilometers an hour, even boats. It's just
In that
weird.
server?
Yeah, just weird. So like you can pull off crazy stunts. So I was going in this boat like 700 kilometers an hour, and then I tried to pull up because I thought it would slow down like just as fast, and it didn't. So I went ramming up on this island, and then like flew off the other, like it was a slope. So I flew off the slope and went flying towards another place. I went like, I don't know, 1,000 miles. It was crazy. So yeah, it was kind of cool. Kind of want to get more into it and play around with it. The other games kind of on my wish list right now are Starbound. I'm thinking about getting it. And
We all have it, like everyone else, except for you guys.
I'm the only one that doesn't have it.
Yeah, Sean bought a 4-pack. You're the fifth, the fifth person.
I'm the fifth wheel. That's fucked up, Sean. I see how it is. I thought Sean was busy playing Final Fantasy.
He is. We haven't actually started playing, but we all have it.
So that means I need to. How many people can be in a server?
I'm not sure. It's probably 4 or 5. It's a good question.
Okay. Well, interesting. So what would you do this week? I didn't watch any tournaments either, by the way. Nothing.
Shit. I think I watched a tournament of the fighting game variety, but I can't remember what the name of the tournament was or what the hell I watched, to be honest. But really, I was watching football on Sunday since big Dolphins fan. Their season was pretty much on the line against the Patriots, so I watched that. And then the nice interviews afterwards with Bill Belichick and Tom Brady looking all sad and depressed, which always makes me happy.
Yeah.
So watched that on Sunday. Played some CS:GO, some Dota, the new update, the Frostivus update. Playing Wraith Knight along with the ranked playlist. Capcom Cup. Thank you guys. Like I said,
Spacing.
I was kind of in a daze watching it. It was marvelous.
Spacing.
Like stuff blowing up. Yeah, it was Yipes in the finals. That's right, and I was pretty excited about it because he was doing work. Which sucked because he wasn't commentating because he was actually playing in the finals.
That's kind of odd.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen him in like a high-profile finals in forever. But Chris G ended up winning. Surprise, surprise. So I played Dota, CS:GO. Did I get my Project Spark beta after last week's show or before?
Before.
I can't remember if I mentioned it at all.
Before.
So I played a little bit more. I don't think I ever gave my impressions at all. It's a bit tough to get into just because I've worked in like more polished game editors, so like stuff that isn't working correctly right now is really frustrating. Like even just selecting objects sometimes is frustrating. So I'm trying to get into it more. I think I'm gonna try and spend some time over the Christmas break when I actually have like actual days that I can put aside to it without feeling like I didn't get any gaming in, you know?
Right.
Probably spend some more time on it then. It's a really high quality thing, and people are starting to put out some cool stuff already. But they also just have a lot of work to do. It is beta, so and it's an actual beta, which is the important difference there. They've already put out one big patch that fixes some of the stuff that was frustrating. So
That's cool.
forward to getting back on that.
I'm still waiting for my beta key. Please, oh please, give me my beta key. Thing now is though, I got Space Engineers. Since you told me you got Project Spark, I was like, well, I want to build something. So I'm sitting here drawing up like little blueprints for spaceships and looking at a bunch of like prototypes or just drawings that other people have kind of gone and done, and see if I can replicate them. It's cool. It's like a cool process because like you picture something like from the outside, and then you never think about how to build it from the inside, which is just like really different. Kind of thinking about it, and it's like I could put together a level much better than I could put together a spaceship. It's really weird. So I think I need to think about it like that. Like how would I navigate a spaceship, and then I could probably build a nice interior, and then I don't know what the hell the outerior would look like.
Yeah, you just call it
the exterior.
You're clearly not an engineer.
I'm not an engineer. I could definitely.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Is you're clearly not an engineer.
Yeah.
In that space engineer.
So you know the other thing, Colin, is when I was looking at Space Engineers, I had to look at what are the names of insides of ships, because I only know the cockpit, like the cargo bay, right? That's the only two things like you see in the movies. It's like the cockpit, sometimes the engine room because something fucks up, right?
Right.
And then the cargo bay. I don't know any other rooms in there. Is it like a ship? Like, is there living? Obviously, living quarters might be one.
Yep.
And then what else?
I don't know.
That's it, right? I was like, what's in a spaceship?
Depends what type of ship you're trying to
Sitting there like, you should have sold me though at lunch. I was like, what the hell is in a spaceship? So then I was like Googling like interior rooms of a spaceship. And then they had like NASA stuff up. And I was like, this isn't really what I was thinking of. But okay.
Because NASA's ship, like the entire ship is electronics that make the ship.
yeah, so.
Like they don't have room so much. Although I guess on the ISS there's probably a little bit of
med bay.
Like the kitchen and
this is kitchen, everybody in the chat, you guys need to just name as many rooms of a ship that you possibly can. So and then I'll just start blueprinting all of those. So Hutchie got the med bay. What else is in there? I already got the cargo bay. I got the cockpit. Just go ahead, ramble those off.
Don't forget the communications array on the outerior of the ship.
All right, let me go ahead and change these topics. Let's go ahead into Colin, you go ahead and pick because I can't really see this. You want to talk Cliffy? You want to just nail all the quick stuff and then get into?
Yeah, I mean the Cliffy one's be a really quick hit.
Cliffy B. Making games. Alright, so it came out this week? This week? That's right.
Let's fix that. Yeah, capital.
I can't remember if it was what day it was. It might have been Monday, or it could have been Friday. I can't really remember.
It was like Wednesday.
Of last week?
No, it was Friday or Saturday last week.
Okay, so basically, Cliffy came out and said that he wants to make another game. He specifically said he wanted to make an arena shooter because of he was tired of all the shooters that are out right now because they are basically the same. And I'm kind of paraphrasing here because I don't remember the exact article, but he said something along the lines of he doesn't want to go into a studio and have some marketing guy or business guy tell him, no, you can't make an arena shooter because that's not what people want to buy. They want to buy standard military FPS, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, fuck that. I want to make this cool-ass game that's an arena shooter, and I don't want to be known for the dude that made the chainsaw gun.
Yeah, he said that he has a pitch, concept art, and he pretty much knows what he wants to do. And his actual quote was that because they're all rearward, he's saying that marketing people and publishers are all rearward looking, and that it drives him fucking batshit, was his exact phrase. So he wants to. And he says it'll be a PC experience that will harken back to the certain type of game that we cut our teeth on, if you know what I'm saying.
So
it sounds like he's speaking more definitively than like speculation. Like when he makes a game, it's going to be an arena shooter.
yeah, yeah. And you know what I think is interesting about that is I don't think that any arena shooter that will be made today would do very well. I think there is a certain let me rephrase that. I think that if there aren't certain elements in the game that separate the minnows from the sharks, the conscious effort to do so, no arena shooter would do well. Because people get their ass whooped and then they don't want to play. I don't think people want to get better and hone their skills, which is typically what happens in arena shooters. So I wonder what his barometer for success is if he wants to do an arena shooter.
I somewhat disagree with you on the premise that I've been playing Counter-Strike recently, where almost all the entire community plays competitive, which is the ranked playlist, with the intent of getting better.
But Counter-Strike isn't an arena shooter. It is a military
Sure. But one person can dominate a server in a similar fashion.
The difference
someone
being
who's good can put up like 41 and 1.
But could you kill if you got a good view on that guy, a good position on him? Could you probably kill that guy?
Occasionally, but he wouldn't let me get that position, I guess, is the caveat.
All right, so it's more positional,
which is the same as Quake. Like they won't let me get them when they have no armor. You know what I mean?
But in an arena shooter, I'm thinking more Unrealish, which is what he's known for.
I know what you mean.
You just can't kill somebody.
I think that PC games, as of late, have shown that there's a general interest in playing games with the intent to improve. Like League of Legends has ranked, which is pretty popular.
But it's not
Dota
intensive.
Has ranked now, but really, like, there've always been a competitive community. Counter-Strike, same thing.
And I think, other than Counter-Strike...
Like, there hasn't been a good FPS example, because, quite frankly, PC FPS hasn't done well in the past 10 years. Or it's not 10 years, probably like 5 or 6 years. Like, besides Battlefield, there's no console... or there's no PC shooter which sticks out.
Battlefield I'd say Team Fortress 2.
From a competitive sense.
Okay, competitive sense.
Team Fortress, I would say, is a different beast entirely in terms of the people that play it. But as far as like competitive FPS goes, those two are really the only ones. Quake failed.
Yeah, I mean, I love Quake. You love Quake. You
could point to a dozen different reasons why Quake 5 failed besides the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's just like
it's marketing and spending and all that stuff too.
I don't think that.
Timing.
I don't think arena shooters are what people want to play. I mean, I as much as I love them, as much as I want to play them, I don't think the vast majority of gamers that we've come across could hold their own in an arena shooter. Therefore, they would quit before we would become successful. I think it's too intensive. It's not a League. It's not a Dota, which is more passive. It's more mental. And I don't think people readily understand why they didn't... Like, why they're not better than someone else in one of those games. Whereas in a shooter, you know that you suck at shooters because that guy is killing you, or you call out hacks or cheats or whatever.
I'd say it really depends on the implementation in almost every way, really.
Yep. 100% agree.
I don't know. Regardless, it's interesting. He actually said it not only in that interview, but he also did an interview on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he said the same thing, that he wants to do an arena shooter. So it wasn't just that one. It sounds like he's kind of throwing the idea out there to see what would stick and if he can make it happen. Some people are already pointing towards possibly doing a Kickstarter for it, which I think would make sense. And there'd be enough fanatic arena shooter guys to be able to at least push a Kickstarter through, I think, for a small studio.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'd agree with that. And he has the name that could obviously take it a little ways further than most.
He also said he doesn't want to work with industry veterans. That he wants
fresh noobs, fresh meat. Wow.
Fresh faces and up and comers, he said.
Oh, that's interesting. All
He said
right,
he
what?
doesn't want to. He doesn't want to deal with the industry bullshit. I think was the general consensus.
Nvidia Gsync and oops and Shadowplay.
You really are jumping all over.
I am.
All right.
Gotta knock these out. These are all quick. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and move on from Cliffy. Very good news for those of you guys that like arena shooters. I particularly would be excited to play it, although I think they would be short-lived. But nonetheless, I would still put in some time and my money to play a new arena shooter from Cliffy. So Colin, I'm gonna let you take Gsync, and then I'll talk about Shadowplay.
Sure.
Update.
We had talked about Gsync a bit. It was a while ago, probably like 10 or 15 episodes, realistically, which is new technology from Nvidia, which is a chip that's built into your monitor so that it doesn't have to use fixed refresh rate, I believe is the correct term. So they're going for a variable refresh rate that will dynamically and instantly flex to match what is being played, is the kind of general overview of it.
Yeah.
So, for example, if I'm playing a game and I'm not running it well, and I'm running it like at maybe 45 FPS. So what this does is it gives me a couple options. I can turn on VSync, which will take it down to 30 and at least make it a steady 30, but you'll get issues with screen tearing and ghosting and stuff like that. I can leave it at 45, but then it's going to fluctuate all over the place as I play, and it's still going to result in stuff like screen tearing, although lesser extent because my monitor is a 60 hertz refresh rate.
Right.
And what Gsync will do is it'll adjust the refresh rate of the monitor to match the gameplay, so you can play at that 45 and just let it go, and the monitor will kind of pick up the slack and match it. All in all, it's like crazy stuff. It also has the side effect of basically removing input lag. Like, you don't have to worry about input lag ever again. Right now, like, I play on like a 2 ms monitor because I specifically went out of the way to buy it, but most monitors are like 8 to 10 ms. If you buy a TV, it's like 10 to 12 ms, which has a huge impact if you're a gamer because that's literally the time you push the button to when it happens on the screen. And if you aren't aware of that kind of stuff, then it's night and day when you go to a monitor that's really bad to a good monitor. And this is essentially the next step, as well as just being the general superior technology. So anyways, that was the overview. Tom's Hardware, which I really like for all of my hardware-related reviews and news, did a very nice report, kind of a preview of the technology. They came away impressed. There was a quote. So their just general summary was, what we can say, though, is that the wait will be worth it. You'll see its influence unmistakably in some games, and you'll notice it less in others. But technology does effectively solve the age-old question of whether to keep VSync enabled or not.
Emperor Pretzel.
And their general thing was that they think it's going to be the next big thing, but it's a bit too early to say so. They actually just put the first monitor up for pre-order today. It's $719, which
Fuck.
is too much.
If it was $329 or $350, I think $350 would be my max.
I imagine it'll get down that low. The monitor sells for, without the Gsync tech, it's $260 less. So the Gsync portion is around $260. And that's also, you have to have an Nvidia GPU that supports it, which is the 650 and higher.
Emperor Pretzel.
It's a bit much.
He got a Cinnamon Toast Crunch ad, and he wants to know, does it mean more Cinnamon Toast Crunch? No, it doesn't. It means more Gsync. More lovely Gsync. Colin, $720?
Yeah, it's a bit much.
You know what?
I'm still cautiously optimistic. One thing that they did ask is, in their preview, they were kind of asking if they were going to try and make it a hardware standard, like maybe like USB or DisplayPort or something where it's like it's a thing that's built into not just their commercial products, but it's like an industry standard that everyone can use and they license it.
Right.
They said they don't have any plans to do that at this time. The other thing they were kind of waiting on was if AMD is going to have any kind of response or thoughts on it. Since obviously that's going to be a pretty big thing, is if AMD cards can't support the technology. So I don't see AMD getting to a point where they want to pay Nvidia for the chip or to support the chip, you know? Which puts it like for consoles especially, it makes it not worthwhile at all because consoles are all using AMD GPUs. Which it wouldn't matter because you need NVIDIA drivers to leverage the G-Sync stuff.
G-Sync, yeah. Well, that's
still cool though. Like that's the next step, and we might see it actually integrated in things in 10 years. Or if you're an enthusiast, maybe in the next 3 to 4 years, you'll be able to get something at a reasonable price.
I gotta go out of my way. Well, I'm not gonna go out of my way. The first thing I'm gonna get is my new Sammys, and then I'll future project out when I'm gonna get one of those. Because I'm
just gonna wait and see.
720 is a lot. I could get it for 350, but not. I'm not spending $720 on a monitor.
Yeah,
I could see if it was a TV or something.
A monitor, and you need a somewhat recent GPU to leverage it, anyways.
Exactly. So
they said it's like a 200 megabyte install.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's Nvidia coming out with the G-Sync stuff.
One thing you can't afford though is Shadowplay.
Shadowplay. If you have a 600 or 700 series graphics card. But yeah,
Ti. They're like $150 for 650 Ti, or $100 even. It's pretty cheap.
Is it? Is it that much now? I don't know about that.
So.
150? Because I thought our price of 660 is
it's 150.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, it's not bad either way. Anyway, so we talked
for like 130. But yeah.
Yeah, we talked about Shadowplay. Man, I think back when we talked about G-Sync, and then I updated on it. Because I actually, yeah, and the Shield, because I downloaded G-Sync Shadowplay, and I tested it on one of the CPUs rigs that we have at work to see if what it was like, how was it, if it was better, worse, yada yada yada. But basically, on the 600 or 700 series cards, there's they have technology built into the H.264 codec, which allows you to record gameplay using Shadowplay, and you're supposed to take less hit to your frame rate. Basically all around performance is supposed to be better in comparison to Fraps or OBS or whatever that you're using to record your gameplay. Just today, they announced that they have now enabled Twitch streaming. So now you can stream through Twitch using the app, which they had said was a feature that was coming soon back when we first talked about it. And additionally, they added the ability to use your webcam. So I'll kind of harken back to some of my, I guess, capture card reviews. I think we kind of talked about it before whenever I did the Avery Media and then Elgato one. They seem like they're going to replace capture cards. Like this market, like, we've kind of talked about it loosely again, market could disappear. And the Forbes article that I read about this particular thing, let me see if I can find it for you guys. Sure. But anyway, in the Forbes article, the guy that wrote it, I think his name is Jason, actually references the possibility of capture card market going away. Copy link location. Go ahead and put this over in the Twitch chat.
Alrighty, go. The Shadowplay?
Okay, yeah, okay. So, what I think is so intriguing is if you haven't used Shadowplay, if you have a graphics card that supports this, you really should try it out to see the performance difference if you're recording gameplay and then uploading it. And even try streaming to see how different it feels in comparison to using something like OBS, which is much more CPU dependent. And I absolutely love OBS. I use OBS to stream currently for console and for PC. And as of right now, we're using OBS. I mean, it's free. So OBS replaced XSplit, right? And then XSplit for me replaced, fuck was that other? Wirecast. Is that the name of that one? Wirecast.
Yeah, I think that was it.
I think it's Wirecast, and then I went to XSplit, and I was like, man, XSplit's pretty good. And then OBS was like a free version of XSplit, and I was like, oh, I'm going to try OBS. And I think Bigness actually recommended it first. He's actually in the stream. So It seems like the evolution towards streaming and recording gameplay is really picking up, and now hardware and software manufacturers are really focused on making that a possibility if you're a gamer. And so seeing Nvidia take an interest in it is really important, at least to me, because I do so much with video, and I think that this is just the next step, especially since, you know, I don't know how much more I'm going to be recording gameplay on YouTube, considering they want to copyright content ID claim everything. But this is definitely something I think you guys should be interested in, so check it out if you haven't already. And if you have a card to support it, update your drivers and just test it out, because I think you'll like it.
It's any of the 600 or 700s?
600 or 700 series, yep. So that's what I got on Nvidia. That's their news going into the week. Oh, God, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the Division.
Some of the stuff they had already hinted at in other content, but this is the first time they kind of explicitly said the RPG element stuff.
So I've been itching. My next monitor will be an Oculus Rift. It's a good investment. It's a good investment. Who said that? Hair Bear. I like that. So we got some.
I was gonna say the best titles for the show are definitely on Twitch, not YouTube.
On Twitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's
looting and shooting.
So The Division is a game that both Colin and I, you're terrible, both Colin and I have been really hype about. I think we talked about The Division. When there was no news about The Division, we've somehow found a way to talk about The Division on quite a few episodes now. And I said this before, any little tidbit of news, I don't care if it's one line, I've been wanting to talk about this game so much. If you don't know about the game, Colin, can you throw in a maybe link to a trailer? I thought we might have shown the snow. What is it? Snowdrop engine? Is that the name of it? Snowflake, like the dolphin. What is the name of the snow engine?
Snowflake.
Pissy snow.
I'm pretty sure it's called Snowflake. Or
Snowflake engine. Snowdrop.
Is it Snowdrop?
Snowdrop. Anyway, so the game looks
Snowdrop,
awesome.
I was right. Yes.
Snowdrop, okay. The game looks awesome. It's being developed by Massive Entertainment. Is that the name of the studio?
Yes.
Publishers Ubisoft. Basically, it's a better looking. I hate to use this example, but it's like a better looking Rust or DayZ or survival game. There's no zombies, but the premise of it is surviving after the economy has collapsed, right? Stability, government, all that stuff gone. And from the elements that I saw from the multiplayer trailers that I've looked at, the thing that was really intriguing to me was the ability to play with like an online universe and play against other online groups. So I could totally see our team kind of scavenging around and picking up and looting places and whooping up on other squads that we run into. I don't even know what to call them. What do you call them? Mercenaries?
Yeah, I don't know. Sorry guys about the black screen. I'm trying to get the trailer up.
The other thing I saw, Colin, and this is something that we had speculated early on, was that we didn't know if it was coming to PC. And then there was a video of their design director, whose name is Axel Ridby.
The best name ever.
Axel Ridby. He announces that it's going to come to PC. So it's going to be on all next gen, PS4, Xbox One. And the system I really wanted to play it on was PC, and they confirmed that. So I really am excited for this game to come out. Some of the things that they talked about in this latest update. Get up here. All right, that's the Oculus Rift. So difficult with this particular chat. All right, so their lead designer Matthias Carlson,
Which is
and
also a
then
pretty good name.
pretty good name, and then the design director Axel Ridby. Article is on IGN, the one I pulled from. Um, but they call it an RPG, which I don't really know if I would, based on the gameplay I saw, I thought it would be they would classify it as an RPG, but then again, there was like skills I think that we saw from that video that it looked like you could possibly upgrade.
I mean, they were essentially looting a building as well, and yeah, actually, just as you said that, he pulled up the thing, and it like shows the skill tree,
shows the skill tree,
and talents,
so
which I think is like a leveling progression type thing.
then you have things like they're talking about looting and gearing up are important. Limited supplies if you play DayZ or State of Decay or Rust. I think you guys all understand limited supplies. You got to scour around for your supplies and stuff. I thought it was interesting that they said they started off with 72 hours worth of basic supplies. So I was wondering if that was in game time.
Yeah,
So
I don't know. Usually, like a day cycle would be what, like an hour?
Hour or something like that. So they give you 3 hours worth.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's enough time to really pick up all the intricacies of a game like this, but whatever. I'm sure you'll find some stuff and be like, ooh. Speaking to the limited supplies, they had kind of talked about, and I think IGN posed this question, would you be able to drive vehicles? There's a ton of vehicles littered around, and the way that Axel kind of answered the question was you want to make conscious decisions, basically. Let me see. Moving throughout the world is going to be a lot. Blah, blah, blah. That's not it. That's not it. No, I didn't put that quote in there. Anyway, he said something along the lines of you want to have to choose between fueling a car, fueling a generator, cooking, fueling something to cook, or whatever else you would use fuel for in the game environment. So they want to make the choices to use the fuel and whatever resources you have really tough. And they said that they wanted to make it tough and fun to make choices in the game. What I did think was interesting, Colin, I don't know if you caught this, is that you can use food and water as currency, and it's also not needed to stay alive.
Yeah, I think the last time I had heard them talking about it, they were undecided if it was going to be like a necessary thing for survival or if they were going to find some other way to make it work. It sounds like they've kind of leaned against using it as like a required resource.
Yeah.
Which has its benefit. I'm curious how they'll make it work as a currency, just in terms of who's buying it. You know what I mean?
That's what I was wondering. Are you selling it to
NPCs? Yeah, are you selling it to the NPCs?
Because I sure as hell wouldn't buy water and food from some other dude. Here's some water and food, man.
Don't worry, I found it by the shop. Yeah, I mean, it kind of makes sense.
So, I mean, all around, this is the game. Like, I don't want to play DayZ because I am over, like, I like watching zombie movies, but I don't really like playing zombie survival games. Like, I feel like it's kind of played up and played out. But I do like the idea of being able to survive and have to worry about managing supplies and having resources. And then what really makes this one so much more impactful to me is that there seems like there's much more emphasis on team play, like cooperating with buddies in order to be successful. Right. Whereas like DayZ and all those other games, it's more about being by yourself and just kind of worrying about, I mean, you could team up, but you also have to worry about, you know, some dude just capping you and taking all your stuff, which I think will also be an element in Division, but it seems like there's going to be like clans and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the sheer fact, like at the end of their gameplay trailer, it's actually happening right now, right on cue again. They kind of zoom out and it shows all the different squads also in the city, like the different hot points. And there's like tons of people all over, and it's like these little conflict areas. And just the possibility of having like those groups get together and then kind of go hunting each other in the middle of the barren city, like that's really cool to me.
Yeah, that'd be really awesome. People's
Especially if there's something
Mafia.
on the line. Like that's the best thing is if there's like I don't know if it means like loot dropping or degrading or something, but having something on the line would make it way more meaningful for sure.
Like you actually lose like some legitimate supplies or stuff like
Yeah,
that.
and I think
Yeah.
that when I saw some of the early stuff, it sounded like they were going to have it so that you would have to basically like get your stuff back from the place to the safe house in order to like put it in your stash. So that might be the way they do that, but still, you get to a point where you have everything, which is my concern, especially with like food as currency. It's like, oh, what happens when I have a storehouse full of water bottles?
Marcus, I think it needs to be consequential. I
Yeah,
agree. I definitely agree. And then People's Mafia, can you guys talk about the multiplayer? It's persistent, so it's an MMO basically.
it is multiplayer. Yeah.
So it's there is no single, at least to my knowledge, there is no single player. It's more like a Titanfall. It's all multiplayer. So um, it's like I said, it's kind of like DayZ, kind of like Rust. State of Decay was single player. It just has those elements to it. Really hype about the game. I'm trying to see if we missed anything else from these notes. Moving through the world is going to be about looting and acquiring new gear as you progress. We found a lot of RPG aspects of the game since we are very much an RPG. So acquiring loot and gearing up your character is going to be a very big part of the game. That is from Matthias, I think. And that was the quote I wanted to kind of end that on.
I live to a Hunger Games type thing with the city.
That'd be fun.
Just have everyone starting off in the city, have to get some resources and kill each other, and then you disable those zones like battle royale.
Oh, release date speculated or projected, I guess, is winter 2014, which has been
Really,
consistent with what they've been saying. Yeah, winter
sounded like they were
2014.
targeting like 2015.
Ah, that's according to the most recent IGN article and news update, which I think was today or yesterday. Winter 2014.
Kind of makes sense. Sounds like they had to go back to the drawing board on Rainbow from a couple articles I read this week that Rainbow like had a big reboot, so it's not happening anytime soon. Which Rainbow was supposed to come out like last year.
Was
Initially,
it? Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah.
it was like an E3 announcement.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and change this. We'll go to Steam OS. So how jealous are you, Colin?
The amount of them that were given out made it really difficult to be jealous.
No, you're jealous. I was jealous. Did you see the crate it came in?
If I had any kind of chance, then I would be more concerned.
Did you see the crate it came in though?
It's technically Steam Machine, right?
Steam Machine, yeah. But I want to tie this to the OS. So Valve released their OS yesterday, day before. It might have even been over the weekend.
I think it was over a weekend.
So they released their OS out to the wild for people to basically do what they will with it. In addition to them releasing their OS, the 300 people that signed up for beta testing it started receiving their Steam Machine boxes and actual units. So basically, there's systems out in the wild. The OS is being worked on, and Valve is getting ready to potentially put up a fight against the other consoles out there. Potentially. Now, we kind of talked about several machines now, mostly from iBuyPower, but there's another one I can't remember who it was that made it. But iBuyPower has a $500 Steam machine available. I want to say now for pre-order. So they already are starting to partner with different manufacturers of PCs and stuff to get ready for this launch. And I think it will be pretty interesting to see where they kind of fall in line with the rest of these consoles, because Valve has such a strong following and Steam is so successful. It makes me wonder if they might actually gain any traction being in your living room.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna have to be the machines. Like, it's have to be the pre-built machines for it, which are going to carry it, because the amount of people that run Linux and are going to convert their PCs for that are very low. That's like enthusiast stuff, which won't happen.
Did you link this in chat? No. Okay, well. Here's the full Steam community page where it gives all the info. They come on, unlock. There we go. They listed the hardware requirements, and let me see. Intel or AMD 64-bit capable processor, 4 gig or more memory. This is for the SteamOS itself. 500 gigabyte or larger disk drive, Nvidia graphics card, AMD and Intel graphics support is coming soon, so that is not supported right now. UEFI boot support, USB port for installation. So that is stuff. Yeah, that's basically basic stuff to run Linux. And I want to say it's I can't remember the name. 7, version 7, whatever the version number. Wheezy might be it. Sounds right. I think it's Wheezy.
Requiring an Nvidia graphics card is a bit odd. I don't think that most Linux installations require that.
Probably Russia, they seem like niche devices. Yeah, they totally do. I still, considering, you know, what we're about to get heavy in the hardware stuff, I think it's really compelling to see who this attracts, because as you guys will see, gamers in general, the whole gamer market demographic has really broadened. So I think even if they have moderate success or even a little bit of success, I think for them that would be maybe a win.
Maybe developing for an extra platform is expensive. Just developing, and they've been pushing it as like the sole company pushing it. So I don't know. As a cost, it has to be a lot.
The one thing I don't understand, at least from, you know, outside guy looking in, is they have a platform that has millions of people on it. How do they feel that hardware blends into that when everything already works? Like if you have a PC and you want to play a Steam or a Valve game, or you want to get into Steam, you just download it and then you are in the community. Like you don't need separate hardware for it. So that I think that's what's so puzzling to me, and I feel like maybe they think that console gamers want to sit in front of their TV all the time and just play with a controller. Maybe that's why they feel like this is important.
That's the sole thing that's bringing people into consoles.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I think like pinpointing why consoles are successful is kind of difficult. But ease of use is definitely one of them, which is something they're trying to solve by having their own OS. I think that the part that's kind of missing is just the raw consumerism factor. You know, like I play on Xbox because all my friends bought on Xbox. You know, like that's why I started playing. You know, like that's kind of the beginning of it. And I'm not sure that they'll be able to get that same kind of traction with this, since, again, the people who would buy it already own PCs.
Right.
That are decked out.
I don't know.
And it's not going to appeal to, like, parents and grandmas and stuff to buy it for them. You know what I mean? Like, exactly. It's not a holiday type gift.
It's like, I'm going to get the Xbox. I'm going to get the Nintendo Wii.
I'm going to get the Steam machine. Well, which one?
Right.
You know, like, buy me a Steam machine, and then they open up a thing and it's just like shopping for a computer, which is already intimidating as hell to the average consumer.
Be right back out of Derp. He says, is it affordable? I think based on what they're trying to make the entry point is, I mean, they're trying to match it with current generation consoles. So, you know, if in a year those prices drop, maybe a year and a half, 2 years, whatever, let's say there's a $300 Xbox One out in 2 years. Will Valve say, okay, we have to make these $300 now? That's a good question. Because then that'll be the big time deciding factor of whether or not they're going to get any type of penetration with console market.
That's the weird thing, is that they're not going for a standardized specs. So, like, what they're targeting isn't. It's always it's malleable, I guess, is the word I'm looking for. Like they aren't necessarily trying to compete with the consoles, although the initial wave of stuff is similarly spec'd as the consoles, so it's kind of like a direct one-to-one. But it's still, like, at the end of the day, it can be anything, right? Like there was also a Steam machine announced shortly after release where it's like, this costs $2,500 and it's running SteamOS. You know, it's like, well, okay, so I can either get that or I can get the $500 one that's similar to the consoles, but I'm still running the same thing and it's still technically considered a Steam machine. You know, like
Right.
it's kind of a mess.
Emperor Pretzel says exactly what you were talking about, Colin. He's on YouTube. He will only get the controller, not the machine.
Yeah, it's the controller that I'm most interested in, but it's not like from a, oh, I think it's the future kind of thing. It's more of a, oh, this seems interesting and different, and I'd like to try it approach. But again, like it's not going to make them tons of money, the controller. You know what I mean?
Right. Um, Trying to look at see if I missed any questions here because this chat is so much further behind.
The 30-second delay. Thanks, Twitch.
Yeah,
Actually,
Twitch's delay is now.
Is it in line with YouTube now? Are we roughly the equal?
I think it might be
behind by
equal.
30?
No, YouTube is sometimes like a minute or more behind with the chat. So
He said it's the other way around. It's the amount of time for your text to show up versus when we talk on Twitch.
yeah. All right. So since we're talking about hardware, let's go into Oculus Rift, and then we'll go into the last bit. So Oculus Rift, 75 million funding. I grabbed this from Mashable. So part of some of the things I do, like I'm a big TechCrunch reader. I don't know how many of you guys follow TechCrunch. So I've always been really interested in the tech businesses, tech startups, Silicon Valley type stuff. And Oculus isn't really. They find themselves in a very weird position, and they kind of talk about it in in the Mashable article and a couple others. And I thought it was interesting because they've shown at a lot of gamer-centric events, venues, and stuff. They've been at PAX, they've been at CES, obviously. They've been at E3, all these different places that they've shown their product at. And most recently, after this funding, the CEO said that this is not about video games. It's not just about video games. It will change, revolutionize, and disrupt a lot of different industries, especially in the way we do communications. So, I was kind of thinking about it from a VR standpoint, and funny enough, I think it was, I want to say it might have been TechCrunch that I read this other article. They were talking about VR as a landscape, as a change. It might have even been Polygon. And where VR has gone back, they were talked about some dude trying to do it way back in the day, who was using like almost like the 3D glasses, Colin, and was like taking pictures and putting things in front of them so you get the change of perspective. Then they talked about the 70s, then they talked about the 80s when NASA got involved, and some of the things that astronauts do, and their whole VR project. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. And then relating that by the end of the article to where the Oculus Rift is going. And so, thinking about, okay, well, NASA does simulations and stuff of, okay, I need to do this and work environment, and oh, this happens, just like a VR simulation in like, one of the movies that you've seen when they're like in the spaceship and shit goes wrong and they're like, oh shit, that's going to be 10 times worse when you actually get up on that planet. So, just kind of thinking about it from that aspect, I really do see the potential for it to be much further than games and much more impactful in a lot of different industries. But as of right now, I don't see anything other than probably driving simulators where it's even applicable. So I'm kind of wondering, they talked about this funding for the release of this product, which I think, from a consumer standpoint, that'll definitely help. And 75 million is a lot. I don't know if VR is ready yet. So, I mean...
Yeah, I don't know. That's...
it's just one of those.
I'm just trying to brainstorm some uses with the current configuration. There's not much.
I only see driving simulators. That is it. Driving, flying, any type of simulation where you have some type of controls and you could throw variables in there like, oh shit, you're on a boat and a tsunami is coming in. What do you do? Oh shit, you're in a plane and a tornado is happening. What do you do?
If you combine it with stuff like Kinect, being able to scan rooms and create like rough bodies out of it, maybe there'd be some stuff that you could do there. I don't know.
And then,
like they specifically said, especially the way we do communications, I'm not really sure what they could mean from that, given that it's a very one-way device. Like you're just seeing something that's being played in like a 3D kind of environment. You know what I mean? Like there's no
93.4 million so far. Yeah, I got that kind of going, and I just didn't quite get to it. So they had $2.4 million Kickstarter, 16 million in Series A funding, and then the 75 million in Series B funding, which is the most recent. Let me see. Said money will help the company expand the platform to be ready for consumer demand once the Oculus Rift launches, though they declined to give a hard date. They also have been messing around. And when I did the Oculus
Rift.
What's that?
Fighter Within plus Oculus Rift.
Fighter Within plus Oculus Rift on that treadmill thingy. Have you seen the little...
Yeah, the Omni.
Omni? Yeah, that's the name of it. I actually thought the Omni looked pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I saw it at QuakeCon for the first time ever. I think I talked about it after I saw it. Yeah. Back on that episode. And
it's just another series, Father Russia.
Yeah, I mean it looks cool. I don't know whether or not it's going to revolutionize the industry, but it definitely.
Maybe when they say like, especially the way we do communications, they're like actually alluding to it being a device for porn, and that's what their big push is. Maybe that's where they're going with that.
The porn industry will never be the same.
That would explain the money, because there's big money to be had. And I've already seen a few different Oculus Rift adult variety games.
You know,
maybe that's what they're alluding to, because I can't see anything else, right? Like, it's not like they can do holograms or anything yet,
right?
Or even close to doing holograms.
Virtual reality open houses. 42,000. Yeah, they've already sold. I mean, the dev kits are out there. They're 40,000 out there. Is that Hair Bear? Yeah. There's, from a developer standpoint, I think people are really interested in it, but Pornhub,
they're trying to get a lot of penetration into the adult industry.
Nice, sweet chin. You know, I kind of talked about it before when we talked about the Oculus Rift and the porn industry, and I said back then I don't think that it's gonna quite go anywhere until you get like a glove, a power glove or something,
power glove,
or some type of like bodysuit to tie into it. Then they got the whole thing, you know, on wrap. Because you can't just get the visual sensation, you got to go all in, and I think that's the first step, tying it to the power glove.
Power glove, really?
Oh man. So here's another thing. They said we had our vision for where virtual reality would go one day, and it's really crazy to me how fast this has developed, though. That's been crazy, the turnaround for this. In 16 months after starting, we've exceeded our own expectations. We've really cracked the nut on virtual reality. And we're really
I'm telling you, they're clearly hinting that that's what they're trying to do.
And we're really going to make some noise in the next couple of months. So they didn't give a hard release date, but I think that them saying the next couple of months is really interesting, compelling. They could be also talking about CES, what they're going to show at CES. But either way, if the product is reasonable, I think I might try it. I might buy it. It comes with a glove. I might go ahead and get it. I don't know what Christy's going to say about that, but yeah, guys.
Anyways.
That's all we got on Oculus Rift, though. Big funding coming in. I think that the product is very near our release date. $300 is what they're shooting for a consumer product.
It's not bad.
I think a lot of developers are on board. Yeah, I think a lot of developers are on board. I think there's a lot of potential there. And I'm actually much more interested in the Oculus Rift than, the motion sensing bullshit.
Is it 300 package with the Hydra?
I'm not sure.
It seems like the Razer Hydra is almost required for an actual game experience.
Probably. All right. I'm going to make sure I'm not missing anything. So we got Xbox One sales. PS4 sales. The topic Colin hates. Topic Colin hates, but everybody wants to talk about it. So here's an article on GameSpot. Have you guys had a chance to try the Rift? I actually tried it. Made me a little sick, but I've tried it. We actually have one at the studio I work at, Edge of Reality. But nobody really wants to walk around in it too much yet because, dude, it's pretty sickening. I'm not joking. You need to be on moving in the space because I don't know, it just feels weird. Anyway, so Xbox One versus PS4 sales. Not a lot I want to talk about in terms of who's winning. Obviously PlayStation 4 came out first. They're cheaper. I think it's expected that they would be ahead right now. They've also released in more countries than Xbox One. So all of those factors probably go into can be taken into account when talking about who has more units sold. So that's not what this discussion is really kind of aiming towards. It's more talking about where we're at as gamers. One of the, I think, really cool facts from the article I linked to you guys is that the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 have outsold the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 during the same time period. They both launched in November back in 2005. And I believe both consoles are outselling their predecessors 3-1, which is pretty fucking phenomenal. And I am really glad to see gamers kind of blossoming in a sense that they're expanding on different avenues. Like, hey, I'm really interested in this Xbox. I'm really interested in this PlayStation. Oh, I'm playing mobile games now, or I'm on my PC, and just seeing all of the different things kind of come together, and then the community as a whole growing. And you have things like Twitch just booming now, and YouTube is clamping down, but they same idea. They're booming. So seeing all of these things kind of come together for gaming as a whole, I think is really cool. Now, raw numbers aside, both consoles are actually doing really well. What is surprising to me, Colin, is actually I thought that the Xbox One would be getting slaughtered, just demolished, because of the $100 price point, or $100 extra price point. $500 versus $400, and then the press, right? The press was eating Microsoft alive, and they're still doing reasonably well. At the end of 9 days, Xbox One sold 909,000. They gave a 1 million number after, what is it? Units purchased by manufacturers, or I'm sorry,
sold through is the term.
Sold through. Okay, yeah. So they gave the 1 million number, but the number of people who actually took home consoles was 909. And I think that's according to NPD. So that's where those came from. Xbox One users purchase an average of 2.1 games per console. The attach rate number of games per console is currently higher for the PS4 than it was during the launch month for PS2 and PS3. And PS2, man, it seems like that was a really hot console too. It seems like every console released, like, they sell like crazy. You can't get one. And it seems like this is a little bit better, this release, than the ones in the past in terms of being able to, when resupply is coming in and when you're able to purchase one, and the demand seems a lot better for the number of consoles sold.
Right.
What's the other thing I wanted to... Oh, Sony claimed that they were the top-selling next-gen platform for both hardware and software in November. And then Microsoft's counterclaim was that they were the fastest-selling console on the market in the U.S. It's just funny how they try to...
Because they're always the U.S. leader.
So, you know...
Sony's strength is all Europe and Asia.
Neither console is launched in Japan yet. That's crazy. And you have to think about, obviously, once Sony hits in Japan, like, they're going to go bonkers versus Microsoft, which has never been strong in Japan, ever. So, seeing that launch in Japan for next gen is going to be really telling for how much further ahead I think PlayStation is going to ultimately pull. But the fact that Xbox is only available, I think it was 16 countries or something like that, or 12, compared to the 40-something. Once Microsoft starts expanding a lot more, it'll be interesting to see where the sales kind of are, you know, maybe 3 months from now or 6 months from now or something like that. I think by the time March rolls around, early estimates has both consoles at around 5 million. Obviously, PlayStation is probably going to be more, but they're saying at least 5 million are going to be sold.
By when?
So by March-ish or 6 months after. So what's it, November to May?
There's no way.
5 million.
There's no way. Like, the Xbox says they're at 1 million now?
Yeah. They were I saw estimates that's put both
after 9 days of availability, so I guess technically
they're probably higher than that now.
$1.5 million, 2 mil.
So I think that's reasonable. 5 million seems reasonable. And where, you know, I'm kind of thinking about with that is the install base for some of the popular games. Like, obviously Titanfall is going to be a huge system seller. Yeah. And I'm kind of wondering what the population of those games are going to be around, to kind of get a gauge on if it's something that, you know, may be around for a little while. I think Titanfall is definitely going to be one that is.
I kind of like it when it's a bit smaller.
Versus what? Call of Duty?
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, the launch titles on Xbox were fun because the communities were all pretty tight-knit and small.
True. There was also less people playing anyway, which is, you know, what we just kind of talked about. So, I don't know. Overall, I can't express how happy I am to see that both systems are doing well. You know, Colin and I have tried to express this as many times as we possibly can. We are not fanboys of any system at all.
Well, the Neo Geo for me. It's just...
so good. It's so good. That $1,000 console. It's so good.
It's like the Rolls Royce of video game consoles.
Exactly. The only system that lets you play your arcade games on a console. Think about that. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we tried to be really positive and critical at times, fans or whatever of both consoles. So, and PC obviously. So obviously, I think that you know, things are going to get a lot more interesting as time goes on and more games are out. I kind of find myself, as of right now, Colin, not knowing what to play. Like, I play Killer Instinct, and then I'm like,
to play Rise some more?
I played Rise multiplayer. I played some more last night. And it's like,
the game yet?
I already beat the game. I beat the game. I don't want to spend $3.99 on DLC for a game I purchased. So it's like,
how about Dead Rising? Have you beaten that?
I have not beaten Dead Rising. I don't plan on beating Dead Rising because I don't own the game, so I can't really get into it. That's a
Okay.
it's a studio copy. So
What about Ghosts?
I'm that's not even a serious question right now. Don't even get me started with Ghost. So let's just not even talk about it. How about that? Ghost was the #1 software seller for November.
Yep.
Do you know what's interesting, Colin? Activision hasn't made any hoofs and huffs and pumping of the chest about the sales for Call of Duty. Remember, they were all like, "Hey, Rockstar, we're gonna whoop your ass when we release."
I think the reviews have been a reason for that.
You want to know why? That's why. Because the reviews. I won't even go any further. Fucking trash. All right. What else do I have on here?
Not much.
We have the
Xbox One's getting some TV shows.
Some TV shows.
I saw the thing, if you have Verizon Fios, then you can now get like their TV show package on the Xbox One. Through their package.
So
original TV shows, though, is what the news was about.
Yeah, they're gonna have the Halo show. Is it directed by Steven? Yeah, that's what I'm calling it.
The
Halo show.
It's like Saturday Night Live, but every week.
Is that directed by Steven Spielberg? Being directed? Steven Spielberg is attached to the Halo TV series.
I didn't read the article.
The Halo original content, Microsoft themed TV stuff. What the fuck is Microsoft spending money on?
What a weird thing. They produced by Saving Private Ryan director Steven Spielberg.
Why they quote him for that movie?
I've never seen him quoted for that movie. Not that it was bad, but
I wonder if that plays up the idea that because Call of Duty is popular, naturally people are going to want to hear something about military, and so Saving Private Ryan somehow has the shooter aspect, and that's what people want to be associated to when talking about video games. That psychology, that next level psychology right there, Colin.
I don't know.
That next level.
Quantum Break seems awful to me, though.
Quantum Break show? Did you see the gameplay trailer for Quantum Break?
You mean the not really gameplay trailer?
Well, they showed a little bit of gameplay.
Just like walking around some cover.
No, he did like his speed time thing, Matrix Matrix and cover, yeah. And he ran towards an opponent or something else.
Yeah, but he doesn't even hit him. It stops before he even gets there. Like he just runs up to an opponent while he's slow mode.
They just wanted to show that.
Away. So like, how is that? And that's what they call gameplay.
Can we call? Can everyone there?
We're gonna show you some gameplay of Quantum Break. And there it was.
Is anyone in chat actually excited about Quantum Break? Let's go there first.
I haven't seen anyone who's interested.
Is anyone remotely excited about Quantum Break?
I have to wait 30 seconds to get a response on either of them. Thanks, Twitch.
I think Quantum Break is going to be a great game, but the TV show.
How can you base that on? Like, how can you say it's going to be a great game? They haven't shown any of the game. All they've shown, the only thing they've shown, I've seen every bit of Quantum Break content. All they've shown is the one scene where the lady is coming through the glass and everything's frozen, and they like walk around and talk about the story a bit. Like that's it. That's all they've shown. The gameplay clips are just walking around an environment. And then they're like, yeah, it'll be third person with time controls. And there's an evil guy that uses time better than you. And that's all they've talked about. Like, that's all they talked about.
Colin, pull me out.
Then they think they're like, yeah, and then it's going to tie into a television series where you'll be watching the show and be able to impact the show. But, like, they haven't...
Didn't Defiance do that?
Yeah, Defiance is...
And then bombed!
Well, they're still doing it, technically. Yeah, like, I don't get what they're doing. Like, I don't get how you can be excited about it because they haven't shown anything. Like the only thing you can be excited about now is the premise of the story, which isn't really that original currently.
Who's making the game?
It's a Remedy.
What'd they do? If someone can name a game that they've done that has been moderately successful, maybe that will change my perception of this game.
They did Max Payne, like the original Max Paynes.
Which are average games? Good,
Good.
okay. Good, slightly above average. That's what I would give them.
Alan Wake, which again wasn't really like I don't consider that a game. I guess it was technically a game.
Alan Wake was okay. I like Alan Wake more than I like some of the old Max Paynes. I don't know, guys. I can't think about the controls of Max Payne. Like, be honest with yourself. Think about the controls in Max Payne.
Max Payne controls are based on Resident Evil controls, the initial ones.
It was like so sloppy. They were so sloppy.
It's just like I don't. The fact they haven't shown any gameplay is super concerning to me. Super concerning.
When's the do we have a release date on Quantum Break?
I don't think so.
I want to know how it's also going to impact the show. What type of things, like if X number of game, are they going to use data? I don't know how Defiance does it because, you know, I saw that game and I was just like, I'm never going to play that game. So is it going to be like data driven where if X number of players make this choice at this decision, then when they shoot the show, it's going to be, oh, well, this decision is what the majority of you chose, so.
Where they'll already have it recorded in both cases, yeah. They're like, the quote they gave was, how you play the game impacts the show, and the show informs how you play the game.
Informs?
Informs how you play the game.
What the fuck does that mean? Does that mean it's episodic so that you can't beat a certain section of the game? Like you have to play in installments like Walking Dead? Later, Markin. Thanks for stopping by, dude.
They said it'll be live action video interspersed into the gameplay.
Huh.
Which again, just it all screams to me that it's not so much of a game as like a TV thing to watch.
Joey says no. Alright, so some people that are excited for Max Payne seem to think it's okay. Alan Wake was... I'm not going to say Alan Wake was a bad game, because I thought Alan Wake was good. Max Payne, though...
All my arguments are invalid because I'm a single-player hater.
You are a single-player hater.
It's true. But I acknowledge when there's good ones.
Like?
Bioshock, Mass Effect, Skyrim.
I like how you get the Skyrim. Yeah,
I guess it was.
Yeah, I guess it was.
It was alright. I played it.
Destroyer of fun. They know you, Colin. We're 46 episodes. We're a year into this show. People know you. Like, come on now. You can't bullshit people now. They know.
Yeah, heck no. That's exactly my point. We don't know what it is, and they haven't done a good job of communicating for what it is. So how can anyone be excited about it?
Because of those CG trailers, man. It's like when you see Final Fantasy trailers and you're like, "Fuck, this game looks so fucking amazing! Oh my god!" And then you play Final Fantasy VII and they're like little square pixel things.
We used to expect it at that point. Yeah.
No, those trailers are so awesome.
Yeah, control time to battle people, and then you like cut.
I didn't actually, when I first saw the trailer, I didn't actually know what was happening. And in the initial trailer, they showed a girl, and I thought the girl had powers. But in the gameplay trailer, the dude has the powers, and he's slowing down time.
They both have the powers, and there's the bad guy who's better at controlling time than them.
So do they have to unite? That girl was like 3 years old. Do they have to unite in order to combine their powers to beat out the bad guy?
I don't know.
Colin, you gotta speculate here, dude.
Gotta
We're
watch
talking about
show.
TV. Talking about next level TV from Microsoft.
Yeah, that's really all this is a tech demo for Microsoft's live TV streaming. It's really all it is.
So the other thing from Microsoft that I thought
I'll make
was
that broad
interesting.
generalization based on the small amount of stuff we've learned.
Tell them, which I think her name is Rachel. Tell them. You tell them, Rachel. We're hoping we. I had to make that joke. I knew it would get you. I had to make that joke.
And on that, we can move to the next topic.
We're hoping we'll be able to put something up on the first quarter, at minimum second quarter. She's talking about the TV shows. She did not specify which programs will launch during that window. I think that the program that will probably launch would be Halo before Quantum Break, but I don't know. They also hired someone from Breaking Bad. I can't remember who it was, and I did not quote that part, but they hired someone from Breaking Bad to do some elements of the writing for the stories, stories, I should say, for their series. I'm gonna, what the fuck? The program director, maybe? Program director for Breaking Bad?
Some dude connected with Breaking Bad so they can say from the
blah 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 Breaking Bad, most successful TV show ever. This kind of makes me wonder, especially the TV aspect of this, what their real focus. Obviously, I get they want to be the all-in-one entertainment system, but doesn't it feel like it's all over the place?
They want to do it all themselves. Seems like the thing that would make sense would be just like, hey, Netflix. Hey, Hulu. Hey, so-and-so.
Make some Microsoft original.
Yeah, or like just embed that shit into your experience and then call it a day. Could you imagine if, like, with every Xbox Live Gold subscription, it included Netflix? Could you imagine that shit?
Be nice.
And then you'd be able to just instantly go from playing a game to get to Netflix, like on the fly, and embed Netflix next to your game while you're playing.
They need to work on the snap resolution versus the game resolution. That's one thing issue.
Really, you need to be able to snap to the corner and picture-in-picture.
What other TV shows you guys think would be something that Microsoft would try to? Let's speculate on that as well. So we got Halo. We know that's one. Gears of War? Would they go there?
I don't know.
Would they do like a Speed Racer style race?
Why does all their television content have to be based off video games?
Because what else would they fucking do?
They can do the next like Game of Thrones. They can just take the HBO model and start making shows.
Well, that'd be the Division show.
I mean, like, I don't see... I don't know. I don't see how Microsoft can pump out enough content to, like, be a...
Speed Racer, guys. I'm calling
destination.
it. Speed Racer. I even know that...
Like, it doesn't make sense to me that they're doing content on their own.
Rainbow Six Patriots.
Like, licensing other content.
Starring Cliffy B as Marcus Phoenix, Mr. Dude Huge himself. Married with Children. What game would that be?
Huh? Married with Children?
Yeah.
He's saying like they would license the television show.
No. Splinter Cell movie? Fighter Within TV show.
Sad thing is I can see that as an MTV show.
Or Def Jam, something like that. Like the Def Jam wrestling game.
Yeah.
I remember what the name of that was called.
I can see like an MTV reality TV show based on Fighter Within.
Amazing TV show would be an ODST detective style show. That's not a bad idea. Tom Hardy has been confirmed as Sam Fisher for Splinter Cell movie.
I mean, what they could do is they could just end up licensing stuff kind of like a YouTube partner network and push content onto the console instead of YouTube. Get some of the more popular community people.
You think that that would oh like
Like
Freddy
Rooster Teeth. Like Rooster Teeth could do their series on
Red versus
Xbox and
Blue?
stuff.
Oh yeah, good idea. A good idea right
But
there.
like they'd have to pay them a bunch to be able to get that. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
they should be throwing money at things essentially.
The other thing you got to think about is if it exists on YouTube and they have a YouTube app, why would they double dip? So it would have to be it would be Rooster Teeth guys, but they would have to make sure it's not on their YouTube channels, I think.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Is it has to be exclusive, like whatever they're trying to pay for.
Right. Call of Duty miniseries. I would not.
So, have you messed with the TV stuff on Xbox One at all?
I've gone through the programming setup stuff, and I've downloaded like the NFL TV app, and then I have like the
I mean, they don't
Amazon
have a
and
lot
stuff like
like in
that.
the way of live channels currently on there, right? Like
No,
it's basically you just open up an app and
it's
watch.
you're basically watching your.
Same
It's
as
like a
Xbox
cable
360.
tuner. Yeah, it's like a cable tuner, basically. It's your cable box. And they just do the programming through Xbox interface. That's it. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. We talk about a little bit about that. Had some questions here for you guys. Is there anything else that I'm missing, Kyle? I don't think so.
No, we covered everything.
Yeah. Started late, got everything done.
It's a pretty light news week, realistically. Lots of tech news.
No Man's Sky. That's my next. Give me some of that. That No Man's Sky. So yeah, we'll do Q&A session. We'll do it a little bit longer this time. If there's some questions. If there's legitimate questions, we'll go a little bit longer since we had technical difficulties.
Do you guys remember like way back in the day when we streamed and Kale's camera would be like 3 seconds off his lips and then we'd be talking over each other? Just randomly, Google Hangouts decided to start doing that again.
Yeah.
Right before we start the show is when we realized it.
So
We
that's
had to rush to get everything set up on Skype.
that was the 20-minute delay. Heard anything about Sunset Overdrive? No, man, that game was sweet though. We need to. You know what? I have a question for you guys. What developers? Think indie guys, because it's hard for us to get unless we know them personally. It's hard for us to get the bigger guys on here. What developers would you guys like to have on the show next? Good one. What about new game from Rare? FF12 is the prime FF12, yeah.
Rare is working on Fable, right? Like whatever the latest Fable thing is.
Yeah. KO, which spelling do you prefer? Arctic or
No.
Arctic?
And maybe they aren't. Shit. No, that's probably bad. That's probably not true.
Hello Games? Which spelling of Arctic do I prefer? Probably the Y because I see it less. But either of them. I've had Arctic, just the name, hear people saying that for so long now. It doesn't matter. And people spell it wrong all the time, so it's all in the pronunciation. As long as you don't pronunciate it wrong, then I'm fine.
They're working on Connect Sports Rivals.
Warframe devs? That is Digital Extremes? Might be able to get someone on.
They're based in Canada, I believe.
No Man's Sky devs?
There's like 4 of them. Yeah, I think they're Europeans. That'd be kind of a hard sell.
Try that. Try from Starbound? Who did Starbound?
I think he's saying Ty from Starbound. It's like a smaller dev studio that spun off of the Terraria devs.
Okay. Hello Games.
Chucklefish is the company name.
Hi, are you Arctic? You know who says that, Big? Fucking Ian.
Getting Abby from Respawn? That's probably unlikely.
Abby Hep from Respawn. I don't know her that well.
They're a bit busy too.
Yeah. I could try. I will try. I mean, I've talked to her a couple times, so I can definitely try. I think once we start busting out our super in-depth Titanfall content that we have planned, they'll be more apt to be on the show. 'Cause we'll get some attention. I'm quite positive we'll get some attention. So Abby Hep that's the number one. Another one for Abby Hep. Okay. Can I be in the next viewers episode? The next viewer episode will be episode 50.
Yep, which will be 31st, 7th, the 14th of January.
14th of January is episode 50.
You know, we never did get Quinn on, but I don't think he has much to talk about unless we just...
Well,
See if
there's
he wants
Halo
to
Spartan
shoot the
Assault
shit.
coming out.
Yeah.
That's the 24th. It's actually coming out on Xbox One. I can't wait to play it. Actually, something I'll play on and stream from Xbox One, other than Killer Instinct.
You think we can get Cliff?
I don't know Cliff well. I met him twice. 2 times.
Might be worth a shot.
I might,
Specifically, if
you
he
know,
wants to talk
we might be able to
shooters.
get Cliff through Epic. Like, hey, Stacy, do you think
Pass his contact.
you could
Yeah.
talk to Cliffy and get him on the show?
When's Titanfall in-depth stuff happening? As soon as we can start getting footage, really. We've got some ideas.
Yeah, we've been pretty hush-hush on all that stuff because people be stealing ideas on them YouTubes. Yeah, we've not had Quinn on this show. We had him on Active Reload though.
Yeah.
I think twice actually. Can you get General Mills on to talk about Cinnamon Toast Crunch? Nope. South Park Studios? South Park. Yipes. Are you guys getting Titanfall for PC or X1?
X1.
Looking like X1.
Maybe both. I might get it to play like PC at work or during lunch or something.
Yeah, that's probably what I'm gonna do. Cause during lunch I'm gonna have to be keeping sharp, nonstop. Gotta keep sharp. I gotta get all the playtime I can in, whenever I can. I don't think we can get Naughty Dog. I don't know any run from there. Bravo would be cool to get. I know Bravo as well too. Yeah, I could try to get Bravo on.
Yeah, it's kind of sucks because they won't be able to talk about much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they can't talk about Halo 5. They could talk about existing things with Halo 4. We could probably get some... What are you guys thinking about for Halo 5? Maybe. But it would be like things that they've already talked about.
Which is
and
nothing.
if they haven't said anything, then we're not going to be able to get anything. They're not going to debut something on our show. Maybe one day. Maybe in 2 years, Colin. Think about Frag Logic 2 years from now. We'll be in a studio, shooting it on one mic table, 2 mics. We'll make it just like the Rooster Teeth podcast.
From the moon. With that Google Fiber.
That Google Fiber. We won't have to ever worry about delays or lag. Do you think Titanfall will have the competitive scene to compete with COD type game?
That's something actually I wanted to talk about sometime between now and whenever beta releases. But it's
If
more
a
of
beta
long-
releases?
It's a long form title or a long form topic to me. Because then you also get into PC or Xbox One for competitive.
Do I think Titanfall... I say yes. Based on what I played, yes, it has the potential to be bigger than Call of Duty. I think in terms of pure sales, it's going to probably compete with something like Halo because of the limitations of being on 3 platforms or Xbox only, really. PC could kind of throw that out there and say, oh, you know, we got this number of sales now. But I think community-wise, it'll probably be like Halo until they can kind of get out of this only limited to Microsoft stuff, which sounds like something that Respawn wants to do.
But that's also...
Vince didn't seem too happy.
Is also how the competitive community gets money. So
yeah, Vince didn't seem too happy though about being like, well, yeah, it wasn't our choice. Whatever, we're on this.
They also said they wanted to focus on one console because they have such a small team.
Small team, yeah. Which graphics card do you guys recommend, Nvidia or AMD?
It really doesn't matter.
I use 3 different types of machine. I have an AMD, I have really strong Nvidia one, and then my home one is Nvidia. They all do exactly what Colin said.
You get what you pay for with each of them, I think is the takeaway. Good to wrap it up?
Let me see.
Maybe. Next week's what? Christmas Eve?
Yeah. Christmas Eve show.
Jingle bell, jingle bell. New Year's Eve show after that?
Yeah.
Dang.
Are we gonna go out like we did last year? Do you remember that?
That was really.
Well, that was the year before actually, because Christy was. Was that last year? No, it was last year.
It was last year.
Because she had just. We had the baby and our parents were over. God.
No, it was the year before because it was before I moved.
Okay, year before? You sure?
No, did I just move in July? I didn't move in July. I've been here a year and a half. It was the year before. But yeah.
We got to do something again.
That's a good topic, Hexen. I'm not sure if I can talk on it. Maybe I probably can. Maybe save that one.
Do you think 343 hiring Halo pros for quality assurance positions will have an effect on the overall game design? That is a fucking phenomenal question.
It's a really good question. And
Let us.
Be really
how about
be really careful talking about it, so I don't know.
You want to save it? You want me to talk about? Is that one of those things where?
I'll mull that over. I don't think. I just think about what I can say.
Okay.
But it's a really good question, just from a more broad aspect. Yeah.
That's a good question because Colin and I were both in that position already. We can kind of speak from personal experience.
But it's also like a landmine field for me, so.
I'm trying to think about since next. I should probably just let me talk about it. I don't know if Colin, are you? Is there some potential conflicts there with you talking about it? Maybe.
I don't know. Let me think about it for a week.
You gotta ask him.
I'll put it on a topic list if not.
Okay. Anyone that, if you're on YouTube and you guys don't know why, because I can't see the chat, Colin's studio previously worked on
Halo 4 and then the DLC stuff.
So it could be a touchy topic.
My position is in QA, and I'm also not a Halo pro, but I give the similar kind of feedback at my current job. So
have to be kind of careful. Sometimes we know things before you guys know things, and before the press knows things, so we can't say things.
You already said too much.
What? I just gotta keep it real.
I think we're good.
Yeah. I think we're good. All right, let's see more questions.
This fighter within video this guy linked. From
is it from Miles?
From Lolo Gaming.
Oh yeah. If it's Miles, you gotta watch it. Bigness linked it to me on Twitch.
Come on. Refresh.
All right, so over on YouTube, Hope you guys enjoyed the show. I'm going to go ahead and call it. We still got the stream going on Twitch, so if you want to hop over on Twitch, you can watch whatever Colin's about to pull up right now. So hope you guys enjoyed the show. We'll see you next week on YouTube. Colin, say bye.
Wait, you guys get the bonus content.
Say bye to the people on YouTube, Colin.
Bye, YouTube. No, matter of fact, bye.